cost challenge. So the first 2-3 months, I didn't earn anything. Then the pressure from the home side was very high, go for job, go back to job, go back to job. Then I had to survive. Necessity compelled you to become an entrepreneur. Necessity made you to perform. I still remember the first business of mine was selling a car battery charger, solar car battery charger. There was a company in Egmore which imported from Japanese the car mobile charger, car battery charger, trickle charging. And it was sold at 695. And I was to get 20% commission, which was about 130 rupees per piece. And I didn't have, he wanted me to pick up 25 pieces from him at a time against payment, but I didn't have that money. So I put my degree certificate original with him and took 5 pieces from him. And I'll take my bike in the morning, and the morning 7 to 8, I will be in the beach. And wherever the cars are parked, I will stand there, I will explain, I'll introduce as if I'm an engineer from IIT and PhD, and then I will talk about the pluses of solar battery. Then first day itself, I sold all the 5 pieces by 8 o'clock. Then with that money, I will rush him back. What is the comment surrounding? His voice is so ethereal. What does it mean? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You are audible. No
So
issues.
by 8:15, I'll go back to the company and put that money and take another 5. So I was now going and trying to roll over. So by 9:30, I will stand in the offices complexes. Those days, like Greaves Road was a lot of cars come and stop, and then they'll go to the work. A morning time, it is always very difficult to catch the people. So I used to go to Woodlands Drive-In. 8:30 to 9, I used to keep myself at Woodlands Drive-In. 9 to 9:45 to 10 o'clock, I used to be with the private companies. Then 10 to 10:30, I will stand in government offices. Like this, I used to stand and explain. I was able to sell in a cyclic form. Then I will go to a cinema theater and stand. Then I will go to evening, I'll go to Pandi Bazaar and stand. So this was a repeated activities. I myself will collect the cash, I myself will write the bill, and I myself will fix it in the car. I myself will connect it to the car battery also. And I will demonstrate. Every day, like a, ritual, I used to do this. Within 3 days to 4 days, I reached a point of selling close to about 50 to 70 pieces a day into 130 rupees. Each piece, I made a margin. So I was able to make a margin of close to 50 into 130, you're talking about, right? That is how I was made an entrepreneur. In that process, what all I learned? I learned what is communication. Today it helps me. Look at this meeting. I just came without any piece of paper. I'm speaking to you all from my heart. I'm speaking from my own convictions of what life has taught me. I have no intention to convince anybody. It taught me what is communication. It taught me what insult is. Sometimes when I go near a car, that man will tell me, "Get out, don't disturb me." He will throw me out like a dirt. My ego was taking a hit. Son of a High Court judge was taking a hit because you would have never experienced it in your house. You would have always had paraphernalia forces around you. You would have always seen police coming and saluting at home. But here you were chased. There were a lot of question marks. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? This is what I made up for. But selling a solar product was the happiness. Seeing the money in hand was the happiness. Winning the confidence of the people was a happiness. Very பிடித்து அலைச்சேன். So I was making a money. When the first day when I came and gave it to my mother and said, 2 months salary I have earned today, ma. Here is the money. I could see tears in her face. I could remember those days where people were then started betting on this horse. I became a race horse. An entrepreneur typically is a race horse. That is how I started my journey as an entrepreneur. And I didn't leave it. I didn't run away from it. I didn't go away from it. Then my first assignment came from Mr. Bashir Mohammed in Himalaya Hotel at Chepak near the stadium, cricket stadium. I'm talking in 1984. He was constructing a hotel and he wanted to install a solar water heater. And then he engaged me as a consultant to write what should be the system capacity, how it should work. And my fees was 5,000 rupees. I did the consultancy and then I gave him a small note saying that, sir, in your hotel, you must go for a 3,000 liter solar system. This is the area of the roof it will occupy, and you should have 30 solar panels with you. And the system will save you this much of a money. The investment will be 2.55 lakhs for the solar system. Then when I gave him the report, he gave me 5,000. And then he said, Raghu sir, why don't you negotiate and get this project through? Be with me till the hot water is seen in the tap. That's what he said. I said, no problem, sir, I will do it. And when I was doing that, I invited quotations from 3-4 manufacturers of solar water heating system, but all of them were above 2.75 lakhs to 3 lakhs. Whereas I had put in the document 2.5 lakhs will be the investment. I was not knowing what to do. So I took that 5,000 rupees back in my hand and went to his house and gave it to him back the money and said, I failed in my duty in properly guiding you, sir. I thought it will cost only 2.5 lakhs, but the market is charging 2.8 to 3 lakhs. I have misled you. So my money is returned to you, sir. Bashir Mohammed asked me, do you think it can be done in 2.5 lakhs, Raghu? I said, surely, sir. It can be done in 2.5 lakhs, sir. Then do it yourself. I said, me, sir? I don't have any money, sir. He said, no, do it. I'll back you up. That is how I became a manufacturer. I made that project and he was funding me. After I showed him hot water in the tap, which was piping hot water, he took me to his house. He's like my godfather. He took me to his house, asked me how much you spent. I worked out everything to him and I told him I spent 2.25 lakhs. I made 25,000 rupees profit in that project. He said, what will be the warranty of this product? I said, this warranty is lifelong. He asked me, whose life? I said, my lifelong. Today is 37 years since I installed it. Even today, I can proudly say, Himalaya Hotel, solar water heating system done by me in 84 is still functioning. It is under my care. It is under my care as long as I am alive and active and my hands can work. Then he asked me, how did you come, Raghu? I said, I came by my two-wheeler. He said, park your Rajdoot here. Here is my car key. Hereafter, you should drive in my car. That's how I became a owner of a car. Then the appetite for cars became. One fine day, I was on the way to the airport. The flight was late. 87. The flight was late. I didn't know what to do. So I came to Maruti showroom in Gindi. A K.E.Raghunathan car was standing there. I asked them, is this car available for sale? They said, yes, if you book it now, I can hand over the car to you. I signed the papers, took the K.E.Raghunathan car, brand new car, cancelled my trip, drove it to my house, showed it to my father. My hard-earned earning for today. Then I became the owner of a second car. Then I became a owner of a third car, which is a foreign car in my life. I saw what life is, what luxury is, but that was never mine. I became a manufacturer. My team started swelling. So originally I started worrying whether can I earn my salary. Then I was worried, can I earn the salary of 10 people a month? Then I started worrying, can I earn for their year? Then I started worrying, can I earn, what will be my earning after 5 years? The life is a never-ending cycle. A true entrepreneur bounces back from every situation. 96, 97, I was selected as a best small-scale industrialist by the President of India. I used to stand in, that's how I came in contact with AIMO, All India Manufacturers Organization. They used to conduct Ideal Home exhibition those days, 80s, at Abbotsbury, then Abbotsbury, and then the Congress grounds. So I used to seek their permission and ask for an open space to demonstrate my solar system there and show hot water to the people to convince that the solar water heater.
Thank you so much, sir.
I used to give AMO 1,000 rupees as a rent. I will stand like this with a mic and a megaphone in my hand. Morning 10 o'clock till night 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. This will go off. My voice will go off. But I used to stand alone, distribute leaflet alone, explain the product, collect advances. In 10 days, I will have at least about 100 to 120 orders, houses. In between, if I have a time, I'll walk with the customer to his house to see whether it is installation is possible or not. And after the fair, which was be normally over on the New Year day, we will start manufacturing activity. My first factory was below the Kodambakkam Bridge. Daytime, it was my office. Nighttime, it was my factory. I used to work till 2 o'clock in the morning, go back home at 2 o'clock and return back to the office at 7 o'clock. We used to deliver. I was a delivery boy myself. I was an installer myself. I was a welder myself. I was a manufacturer myself. The brand Solkar was built like that. Many people even today ask me, why am I called as Solkar? That's another interesting story for an entrepreneur to know. When I wanted to stand on my own legs, 84, I didn't know what to start, how to start. I had no knowledge of what to do. So I wrote a letter. That time it was Department of Non-Conventional Energy Sources. So I wrote a letter to the government officer that time and got his appointment in Delhi. He gave me an appointment sometime in December, which was the coldest season in Delhi, which we are never used to. I took the train, reached Delhi railway station. It was late and I reached at 8 o'clock or 8:30, ran to a nearest lodge, took my bags, went to the government office, which is at CGO complex in Lodi Road, touched the building, took the prayers, went to his office, 10 o'clock sharp. I reported there without even having breakfast and said, I'm Raghunathan from Chennai. I have come to meet Mr. Dr. Sudha. He gave me an appointment at 10 o'clock. The PA said, please wait here. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I was never called. Lot of people going, coming, but I was never called. I went and asked the PA, because I don't know how the government works, right? I was not aware, because when you walk with your father, the whole office comes to the doorsteps to receive him. These are unknown kind of treatment to you. So when I was waiting, I went and asked the PA fellow, coffee kuda tarmatendriye, when will you give me? Because I can't speak Hindi. So I asked him with please. He said, please wait, sir. Then I asked him, can I at least go have something to eat and come from the canteen? He said, when you go, if he calls you, if you are not there, then you will miss seeing him. I was not sure what to do. Then 3 o'clock also I was not called. Then the PA fellow took pity on me and he told me, let me tell you one thing, Mr. Raghunathan. My boss does not like South Indians. You have to wait till he calls you. This is what he told me. I was taken aback. I was shocked that I am being hated in this country because I am a South Indian. So I came and sat in the sofa and I had to decide two things. One, I decided that I will walk out of the place because there is no point in seeking advice from a person who is hating me without even seeing me. So I should not wait any longer. I must walk out. The second decision was, how do I ensure that in future my appearance is not denied because I am a South Indian? I coined the word Solkar, S-O-L for solar, and K.E.Raghunathan. People think I am a Maharashtrian. People think I am a North Indian. Even today, people think I am only a North Indian fellow. At least I will not be denied meeting each other. I'm called Mr. Solkar in some parts of the country today. This is how I born as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur fights his way. An entrepreneur is driven through his determinations. An entrepreneur is tasting all failures in his life as good as the successes. I haven't shared what is my failures I tasted. 97, I was selected as the best industrialist by President of India. 99, I was selected as the best entrepreneur, whatever is the rewards and awards given by Surjit Singh Barnala at that time as a governor of Tamil Nadu. I was the best performer of the Tamil Nadu state for continuously 3 years on solar energy. I knew what success was. I tasted what success was. Then I thought, whatever I touch will be the gold. I invested all my hard-earned money till that time and put into a module manufacturing factory. That time it was a thin film manufacturing technology. I sourced it from US, from a company which claimed it to be the latest technology manufacturer. I put all my eggs, imported the machines, took another factory in Ambattur, which had a sanctioned power capacity of 25 kilowatt, because that area was maximum 25 kilowatt allowed, and set up the whole machines in place. And then I realized I was not able to run the machines. The company fellow refused to come for installations after collecting my money against LC. You trust people and you pay a price for trusting people. You don't trust people, you also pay a price for not trusting people. When to trust, whom to trust, when not to trust is a life learnings in your life. I was not sure what to do. On one side, I had an order from Parasurampuriya plantations in Mumbai to supply them. I'm talking in 1998, 99, to supply a whole island near Maharashtra, a solar street lighting system. On the other side, my investment on the plant and machinery have landed, taken from the customs and put in the factory. Third, whole team of people have been in place recruited. Fifth, I tasted what a loan from a bank is. I was not knowing what to do. Newspapers start writing about Raghu going in a big way with thin film manufacturing. The world is expecting Raghu to produce what is called as a thin film at that time, cadmium telluride modules, moving away from the conventional silicon technology. People talk about me revolutionizing the pricing in solar industry, but I am stuck. The guy didn't come for installation. I don't know ABC of the machines. I keep shouting, asking him to come. He is not coming. I can't cry openly, because if I tell openly that the machines I have is not working, I will not get any orders. I can't fight legally because he's sitting in US and I don't have a wherewithal to fight with him. I went and met the Consulate General of America, cried in his hands, saying, this is how I was cheated. He pulled strings. Then that fellow from US came for installation. He put the machines, but when we start the machine, it will trip. Our agreement said 25 kilowatt. So the power was 25 kilowatt. But the machines will trip. I can't have a throughput from the machines. I can't run 3 machines at a time. It will trip. Then we realized individual machines, if we add up the power capacity, it was 75 kilowatt. 75 kilowatt was not possible in that location at Ambattur for a sanction. And the person who supplied said it was a typographical error, 25 kilowatt, as 75 was written as 25. But the power is not possible. We didn't know what to do. We were stuck with that. Thankfully, the chairman of the TNAB at that time took mercy on me, FJ Voss, and he relaxed the condition and gave me 75 kilowatt at that location, power for my factory to start. Then we produced the module, but the module did not meet the efficiency standard. Look at all the trouble starts. But believe me, I told myself, let's stop manufacturing modules out of it, but let's start learning what is module manufacturing is. So I gave back the advance to the Parasurampuriya plantation. I said I will not take any further orders on the solar module side. We started working how a module manufacturing is done. So what is laminator? What is module tester? What is cell sorter? What is cell cutter? I started getting into the details and I started perfecting these machines and I started making a module out of this machine at that time after having learned how to build this. But the price I paid was so high, so high. There was an auction sale notice of my house and my place. For a recovery of some 12 lakhs or 20 lakhs, Catholic Syrian Bank took me to the Debt Recovery Tribunal, 2002, 2003. I had no fault. I went and argued my case in Debt Recovery Tribunal. I still remember. I told the judge, come with me to my Ambattur factory, sir, I will show you. He came with me to the factory. I showed him the machines. I said what I created. And I asked him, where have I done wrong? Where have I gone wrong? By pulling me onto the road, what does he gain? And are you not killing an entrepreneur? I asked him. He passed a judgment that the case was to my favor. A one-time settlement was agreed upon, and Indian Bank took over that loan from the Catholic Syrian Bank in 2005, 2006. Then I thought, now that I have become a knowledgeable person in making modules, why don't I go and set up a factory manufacturing modules in Singapore? My name was Raghunathan. By that time, I had become the chairman of All India Manufacturers Organization at Tamil Nadu State Board. There was a delegation of people from Singapore came to Chennai. 50 to 60 entrepreneurs came. Then in return, I took about 50 to 75 entrepreneurs from India to Singapore. I was sitting in a meeting with the president of Singapore at that time, Mr. Nathan. My name was Raghunathan. The people around him thought I'm related to him. So they took extra care on me. And Mr. Nathan asked me, what business you are in? I said, I am in solar business. He said, Singapore is exploring the possibility of Kyoto protocols in 2007, 6-7. Why can't you be part of us? I was made an advisor to the president. Then I was asked, can you set up your factory in Singapore, Mr. Raghunathan? That was never in my mind. Came out for lunch in Serangoon Road, Saravanabavan. On the way, I saw Indian Bank board. Indian Bank was my banker. I called Mr. Chakraborty, who later became the RBI Deputy Governor, CMD of Indian Bank, and a well-wisher of me. I called him from there and said, sir, I came out of President's office. They want me to set up a factory in Singapore. I see Indian Bank here. Will you finance me? He said, how much you can put in? I said, my entire life saving, I'll put it. He said, just walk into the building. The general manager will receive you. Ramchandran was the general manager at that time in Singapore, who then became Andhra Bank chairman. I was taken in. I was given a loan. Within 2 hours, my factory was registered. I set up the module manufacturing. There was a half-page article in Straits Times. The Sun King from India is arrived in Singapore. I was holding a module of 390-watt module at that time, when the current world market was only with 220-watt module. I set up a 15 megawatt of module manufacturing factory in Singapore. I had an order from Germany for about 70 crores to write off my production. My daughter got married in 2007, so I came for the wedding of my daughter, and then to go back to start the production supply, because samples have been approved. Germans had come, Germans had approved my facility, people are in place, manufacturing starts. That was the time the world faced the recession. I lost the order. I didn't know what to do. Penniless. In Singapore. All my money is gone. All the 3 cars were sold. All the jewels in the house was sold. My house was sold, went into a rented house in Chennai. My factory was still running. Couldn't concentrate in running. All this at 2009 and 10. I still fought. I still went back to Singapore, converted my facility into a training center to keep the nose above the water to survive. I became a teacher, training young engineers how to manufacture a module. The first hands-on manufacturing training for solar module manufacturing was done by me in the name of EcoSolar at Singapore, and I was trying to do this. I used to have 10 people, each giving me 3,000 Singapore dollar. 21,000 will come into my hand. At least I'll pay 15,000 rent for the premises. I'll pay some salaries of the people, one-man show. I managed it. I fought it. I survived it. Suddenly, after the economy slowed down, Singapore became unreliable for doing business because the currency of Singapore became stronger as against the rupees and the Chinese currency. So a solar module was much cheaper to buy from China and India than from Singapore. I didn't know what to do. The order was coming back to me, but not at that price. I went to the Singapore government saying, I have the order. I survived here. Give me some kind of a export subsidy to balance. They refused. I went to the Indian Bank. That time Chakraborty had moved away from there. I went to Indian Bank and said, please give me a relief that I will shift this machinery from here to Chennai and take this order and manufacture it. Indian Bank refused it. Indian Bank applied the pressure of recalling the loan. I was not able to handle both the ends. They filed a case in the court in Singapore for the recovery. I went with a buyer in Bombay to buy the machines at 2 crores of rupees. They refused. The decree came against me by appointing a receiver. One fine day, I get a letter from the receiver, email from the receiver saying, your factory was broken open. We went inside, we see the machines, but we are not able to see all the machines which have been financed by Indian Bank. Can you please explain? I'm drawing a map of which each machine location, naming it, and then sent them a fax. Then they confirmed to me, yes, everything is in shape. Everything is in perfect condition. Then I asked the Indian Bank, Singapore, how did you appoint a receiver who does not even know what is solar manufacturing? How will he get me a better price? No answers. I introduced this 2 crore fellow to buy the machines. They rejected. Finally, one day I got an email from Singapore saying that all my machines were scrapped for $25,000 and the fees of the receiver was $40,000. I must pay $15,000. An entrepreneur eyes do not shed tears. We shed blood in the heart. It was toughest days of my life. I still fought. I fought. I won. And I lost. I restarted. Every time you restart yourself with freshness of what it is life is. It's easy to say you must have technology support. You must have the best pricing, best knowledge, best determination. But when I look back, I say only one thing. Believe in yourself. Face the situations. Fight for your rights. Stand tall. Don't give up. These are all the things which come. Take the COVID situation. I'm sure Saravanan has nurtured thousands of entrepreneurs under his incubation cell. But how many have been able to survive the COVID situations? So many entrepreneurs' plan has gone for a sixer. So many people's rhythm is lost. So many people don't know what to do, how to face the situation. The plan is gone. We have no hand holding. We have no expertise to give medicines to them because it was again like a COVID, there were no vaccination available. There were no vaccination for the entrepreneur. There was no vaccination for COVID. Finally, both had the vaccination, but still we were hit with COVID too. Then we had the oxygen cylinder shortage. I know how tough it is for entrepreneurs to live. Even in the worst days, when I come to my office, if they don't see smile in my face, most of the people in my office will start crying. So we started wearing an artificial mask. We started saying, how are you? Our answer will be, we are best. We started building confidence on the people. On one side, we have to talk with confidence. On one side, we have to motivate the people around us. On one side, we have to be bubbled with enthusiasm. Whereas inside the heart, you know the truth and facts and realities. It pains. Your strategies get vanished. Your disappointments get filled over. There is a saying in Tamil, Jan Yerna Muram Sarukum. அனுபவித்தாதான் தெரியும். ஜான் ஏறுறதுக்கு எவ்வளவு கஷ்டம், முழம் சறுக்கும் பொழுது எவ்வளவு வருத்தம். But you have no choice. You can't leave it. You look at the people's face who are working for you. You cannot skip it. You cannot escape it. You cannot write it off. You cannot pardon off. Keep fighting. You can only fight. You need to have the strength. A typical entrepreneur is a fighter. You see any entrepreneur across the globe, any entrepreneur, by looking at him, you can say he is an entrepreneur. He'll be highly impatient. He will be highly egoistic. He will always be looking for something different to catch up. He can always feel what you don't see. He can always be imaginative, talking in the air. His legs are never on the ground. This is the typical qualities of an entrepreneur. There's no entrepreneur who is not coming under this purview. You can't be an entrepreneur if you don't come into this purview. But what are we seeing today? Today, many entrepreneurs think they must do something, they must make a good valuation, then they must get some investor, dispose it off, and become a millionaire. That is not true entrepreneurship. You must create something, you must nurture something, you must see it becoming reality, you must make profit out of it, you must grow in your life along with the people who have come in your way. The truth of entrepreneurship, the truth of real entrepreneurial needs is not being understood properly. Just like saying today we don't find employees whom you want. It is no more unemployment, it is more of unemployability. Jobs are available, talents are not available. Vacancies are available, but those who are able to fill in is not available. Right people are not available. The attrition rate in IT industry is today talked about as 35% to 40%. Wipro has 35% of attritions. If they have such a rate of attritions, how will be the small entrepreneurs who are doing services for them will be? Today we talk about a lot of issues an entrepreneur faces, whether it is raw material problems, whether it is manpower problems, whether it is money problem. A true entrepreneur always lives with the problem. He is like a fish in the water when he is with the problems. I used to get up in the morning, go to the God and make a prayer. Please give me as much of problems as possible today, but give me the strength to solve it. I never used to pray, never give me a problems. If there is no problem, my presence is never felt. If there is a problem and if I solve it, no one else can satisfy my ego other than that success. My energy levels are boosted when somebody appreciates me. The claps what we get is the energy which we derive in pushing ourselves, not the bank balances. The more and more failures you taste is what gives you more and more determination to succeed. One entrepreneur dying in one business, he will always be another entrepreneur starting another business activity. An enterprise can die, an entrepreneur never dies. You have seen it, I have seen it, I have experienced it, you have witnessed it. I believe I am crossing my timing on this, Saravanan.
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, so
Yes.
I thought the success is what is defined by each one of us in our own logical. When I look back my life after 37 years of being an entrepreneur, I have the enormous happiness and feeling that I have spent my life purposefully and usefully and for the benefit of the society. I have faced the challenges, but I have fought the challenges. I am richer by experience, maybe poorer by money. But it's all the overall mechanisms of what pluses and minuses of life is. I'm glad this kind of a speech sharing, knowledge sharing platforms from Center for Entrepreneurship Development is a need of the hour today, is a need of the people today. Today's younger generation cannot withstand even the smallest stress. Today's younger generation cannot take a word called failure. No pain, no gain. No success without failures. I never learned anything from the success what I tasted. I learned everything from the failures what I faced. I am able to communicate at ease today of the situations that I went through. But when I faced those situations, I could not share it with anybody. When you are successful, you are surrounded by hundreds of people. When you have failure, you are all alone. When you are successful, there are a lot of ears to listen to what you say. When you are in failure mode, there is no ears to listen to you. World is such. Things are such. But the fighter is an entrepreneur. Success of an entrepreneur is survival as an entrepreneur. Enjoy your journey as an entrepreneur. Enjoy every moment of your accomplishment. Enjoy every moment you pay every employee of your organization, that it is you who earned their life and they earned their bread and butter. Be honest, be good, be straightforward, be truthful to what you do. Life has become so easy and lively and expected if you can be of such. The Association of Indian Entrepreneurs, which I have just started as a not-for-profit entity, those interested can log into aieconnect.org. I'm creating a community of entrepreneurs under one roof. There will be a lot of action for knowledge sharing, hand-holding, mentoring. There will be a mobile app called AIE Connect, which will be launched shortly. It's not for profit, not for any other purpose other than seeing Indian entrepreneurs across the globe. We have seen Indian executives across the globe. The time has come to see Indian entrepreneurs across the globe. Few success stories are not enough. We must only hear few failure stories. So, looking towards that march in my life as a person who has become a senior citizen now, marching on a path of empowering people. And thank you so much for every one of you. Thank you, my good friend Saravanan. I was able to speak from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.